caution in Sonoma. 14 laps complete. Robbie Gordon is the race leader. And waiting to see if anybody's going to take the opportunity to come down pit road. Mark Goossens in the 91 is the lucky dog. We saw Gordon was on pit road. Then the caution came out for Sterling Marlin, who believes he lost an engine. There's the entrance to pit road on the right-hand side of your screen. Robbie not coming. So these guys now, is that Fellows? Looks like Ron Fellows might be headed for his pit stall. Tony Stewart runs in the 37th position.
Hey, Bill,
yes.
Wally, here's what's interesting. You're seeing Ron Fellows pit. Remember, that is a Gibbs engine, so it looks like the Gibbs car, they come here knowing that they could not do this race on 2 stops. We're seeing a lot of guys at the back of the field pit. I think the reason the 24 car pitted right there is they knew they could not make it from pitting back on lap 3. The spotter saw the 14 car stalled on the racetrack. They hit pit road and actually got a free pit stop, but it's not going to pay off a lot. They're not going to gain that much position. Matt.
And Larry Mack hit it right on the head as far as the strategy for the 96, one of those Gibbs-engined race cars. Now, he said the car was loose. Now, remember, this is a road course specialist, Ron Fellows. He's won in Busch. He's won in Craftsman Trucks, trying to become the 18th different guy, Ralph, to score the triple.
Matt, the plan with the 20 of Tony Stewart was if the field stayed out, you come in. If they come in, you stay out. They stayed out, he came in. They're working this strategy hard, fellas.
And that's the way it usually works here, as you know, Ralph. It's a strategy race till you get to about 40 to go. Gotta be in position with 40 to go. Not that you don't race hard all day. You got to do that, but you have to put yourself in a position on these wacky road course races to be there at the end. 15 of the 18 races here have been won from starting positions inside the top 10, our Toyota track fact. 11 times the winner has come from the first 4 spots. So Robbie Gordon continues to lead. Then it's Earnhardt Jr. in second, McMurray third, Borisset, and Jeff Burton. Told that a tire got away from the crew of the 6 car of David Reagan. He will have to restart at the tail end of the field.
Hey, Bill and Wally, I've just got to believe these guys that stayed out right there, they plan on making this race in 2 stops. But as I walked through the garage area this morning, what a lot of them were banking on is caution laps to help them do that, because we know you use a lot less fuel under caution than you do under green. Right now, caution laps could be some of these guys that have not made a stop yet their best friend.
Helps with the fuel mileage. Helps you get to that. And Larry, with the smaller fuel cell, these guys, some of that is guesswork, even if you did get a fuel mileage reading in practice.
Well, it is, Bill, but here's what I think, and Wally talked about that this morning as we were walking through the garage area. You have a choice of carburetors that you can run, a 750 CFM or an 830. An 830 makes more power, but if you have to make an extra pit stop, sometimes that power will not help you, so a lot of them opted to go with a little smaller carburetor that gets better fuel mileage.
See how it all works out this afternoon. Coming around to complete lap 16. 12 cars stopped under that caution. Gordon stopped just before the caution came out. Jeff Gordon is currently scored in the 32nd position. Tony Stewart in the 35th position. Robbie Gordon, the race leader. We go back to green at Sonoma. Up the hill to turn 2, the right-hander. Truex Jr. in the 1 car back there.
See, Montoya on the outside of the 5 car makes the pass. Here's Montoya, the 42, getting around Kyle Busch.
Jimmy Johnson taking a look. That's a place you can outbrake somebody, but you've got to be very careful because you carry so much speed in there. Well, you carry so much speed in there, you can get chopped off really easy. And you see Montoya trying to get by Truex in the one car.
Smoke his tires a little bit.
Yeah, and he's doing that a lot, but he's making up some ground.
And once he feels that he's got the car and gets a little bit of confidence, he's going to drive a little harder and a little faster and challenge these guys a little bit more because this is his kind of racing.
Exactly. Yep. Marty, what is Montoya saying anything about his car? Because it looks awfully good.
He says, Wally, it chatters the front just a little bit, especially at the top of the hill. But one thing he told me about braking this morning, he said, actually, when you outbrake someone, as Kyle Busch spins around, Bill.
Kyle Busch was actually trying to outbrake Montoya just when you were talking about that, Marty. And it looked to me like he had a little bit too much rear braking there because the rear tire's locked up and he's spun it around. And now he's watching all these cars go by him.
Wow, he was up around 15th.
And, and Montoya driving it in pretty deep, and Kyle Busch locked up the right front there, but still, Montoya drives it in deep. If you're going to outbrake Montoya, you're doing something. So
he thought it looked like a good idea to go to the inside.
And actually, I think I really believe he spun that car out to avoid hitting Montoya, now that I look at it from that replay.
So see if that changes his strategy here this afternoon. 18 laps in the book. Marty, did you finish your stuff on Montoya there?
Well, Bill, I was just going to say that this morning when Juan and I were talking about outbraking someone, and Wally, you can talk about this, he said when you're doing that, you actually start braking at the same point your guy trying to outbrake you do. So what you do is you don't hit the brake as hard as that other guy does. You just get on it a little slower and then stab it right at the end instead of getting all on it once. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. What you do is when you outbrake a guy like he just did, your points are pretty much the same as Jimmy Johnson sneaks underneath. Very nice move. Very nice move, Mr. Johnson. But what you do is when you get on the brake, Marty, you get off the brake and let that car roll just at 10 or 15 feet. So while the guy you're trying to outbrake is hard on the brakes, you get off the brake, let your car roll a little bit further, then you get on the brakes again really hard. By that time, you've got the position on the guy. So that's exactly right.
There's some good racing going on back in the pack, including the move made by Jimmy Johnson, Ralph.
Jimmy Johnson's car hasn't been perfect since the beginning of this race, Bill, but they felt like it was going to continue to come to him, and that's what they kept telling Jimmy. Apparently it's getting there. It is really starting to work in the 48.
With everything that this team has been through this weekend, Jimmy Johnson and Jeff Gordon were not allowed to practice or qualify on Friday when their cars did not make it through inspection. Chad Knaus, you can tell he's disappointed about what happened, but he just had that sound of confidence in his voice in the garage this morning that we've got good equipment and we've got a plan and this might work out.
Well, they have been beating up everybody this year, so I mean that's where the confidence comes from. But you're right, and then they had two teammates out there that they could draw off of on those couple practices, so it's not like they were completely lost. When those guys came here with good race cars, and that's how you win championships, in my opinion, is you leave the shop with your stuff really good, and they do that every week.
Jamie McMurray, the new second-place car behind Robbie Gordon, got around Earnhardt Jr. to take second, Jr. in third.
Jeff Burton putting a lot of pressure on Boris Said there.
Yeah, there's a bit of a traffic jam behind Boris.
A lot of these cars right here are so close right now. They're so even. Here comes Jeff Gordon.
And Tony Stewart.
This is a pretty good race here. Okay, now Stewart has the best spot, and I think Gordon understood that. You're going into a left-hander, so you want to be on the left side. So Jeff Gordon said, yep. And no sense of beating each other through the corner there.
And those two guys are not going to race each other very hard at this point in the race. They're behind Ron Fellows. Not a bad guy to be following on a road course. Fellows in that 96 car. But Tony may not want to be following for very long. And again, that 96 team gets a lot of support from Joe Gibbs Racing. I believe Joe Gibbs Racing even built that car for him. So Robbie continues to lead. Jamie McMurray second. Earnhardt Jr. third. On board the 01 car. Watch out for the dust and the rocks. And there goes the camera. Robbie Gordon is the race race leader and has led every lap so far with 22 in the book this afternoon at Infineon Raceway in Sonoma. Here's our AT&T Race Talk question. The results so far.
The set heads have spoken.
Yes, they have, and they are a loyal group, huh? And Boris currently running 4th. You can text RACE to 191. Cast your vote for AT&T Race Talk question. There's Boris. Man, that wall scares me. It's Jeff Burton right behind him, and that's they've been nose to tail for a while.
Jeff Burton has been really working on Boris, and here's a great shot. Yeah, this is foot cam on Boris's car. And Boris is one of the few guys out there that right foot brakes. Most of the drivers use their left foot. You just keep your left foot over that brake pedal. This way, when you're braking and downshifting, you never take your foot off the gas, never take your foot off the brake pedal. As you can see what he's doing, he uses the gas, and then when he goes to slow the car down, he hits the brake, then he rolls his foot on the gas pedal to downshift. That's called heel and toe.
And you don't have to use the clutch in these cars.
You don't have to use the clutch in these cars. Now, Boris has got about an 18 size shoe, so he can do that a lot easier than most people. But like I said, most of us, just left foot brake.
And you told me yesterday you left foot brake in your passenger car.
Yes. Yeah, I left foot brake and everything. Going down the highway, I left foot brake. Probably, to me, it's just quicker. You can react quicker and get on the brake a lot faster. But it's just what you're brought up to. And here Jeff Burton is just working on Boris right now, and he's going to take a look. He's going to do it right here.
Been patient as long as he could. Burton gets the position. We get a report from Matt.
And a great shot of Boris Said's trade secrets there. Now, Boris's biggest issue, the car is too free on the right-handers, but Frankie Steiner tell him, look, don't worry about the top 3 or 4. Just pace yourself and try to save as much fuel as possible.
And here's the thing, because Boris was basically holding up that pack, they started to lose touch with the top 3 cars, especially race leader Robbie Gordon.
Yeah, as you can already see, Jeff Burton is going to start driving away from Boris, and then you got Ryan Newman right behind Boris, so it'll be interesting to see if there's, you got Ryan Newman, Casey Kane, you've got Kurt Busch back there. There's a bunch of those guys, see if they can make the pass now on Boris.
So the fuel mileage factor is going to come into play here very shortly, maybe as soon as 7 laps or so. A number of teams have already been on pit road, but not the race leaders. We'll step out, come back for those stops. You're watching NASCAR live on TNT.
At work, he's a therapist with all the answers. Ow! But at home, this father doesn't always know best.
What's in your drawer, Trent?
Tell me it's not drugs. It's a Playboy.
Oh, good boy. The all-new TBS comedy series, The Billing Ball Show, premieres July 17th, only on TBS.
TNT Sports is live at the Toyota Save Mart 350 in Sonoma, California, under caution. Caution for debris.
And there it is. It looks like a brake hose. And that, hitting that curve back there, eventually I figured something was going to fall off one of these cars. That could have been Clint Boyer. Whoever fell off of it's not good.
No.
Because now they're one less brake hose, and you really need to cool these brakes around this place.
So with 26 laps complete, Robbie Gordon is the race leader. Then it's Jamie McMurray, Dale Earnhardt Jr., Jeff Burton, and Boris Said.
I can hear that calculator going right now.
I can too.
What do you think, Larry? Everybody comes now, right?
Right now, they could definitely, I think, these guys that have stayed out, they can make it easily on 2 stops from here. But everybody, I think, is pretty much in a 2-stop window here.
Several teams have already been to pit road. See how this all plays out. Leaders stay out because pit road is still closed.